Today on Diaspora Show, we are discussing the coronavirus. Last weekend, I traveled to Seattle, Washington, and spoke to Kenyan businesses just to get a sense of how the virus is affecting them. As you all know, Seattle, Washington has become the epicenter of the virus, and so today we want to find out how this is affecting Kenyans in general, but more specifically their businesses. Welcome. This cul-de-sac in Kent County, Seattle, Washington State, is known to many as Kenya Corner because of these two joints: Safari Restaurant and Rumba Knots Lounge. While Safari Restaurant is the happy place for most Africans living around here for its Kenyan cuisines, Rumba Knots is famed for its Kenyan music and dance.
My name is Jane Kagira. I own Safari Njema Restaurant in Seattle, Washington. I've been here for now 10 years, and I thank God about that. I am originally from Kenya.
Very good. So, Jane, Safari Restaurant is very known.
Yes.
When people heard that I was coming to Seattle, said you should stop at Safari to have some Kenyan food. And,
thank you.
The food is wonderful.
Thank you.
Generally, how has business been in this industry, in the hotel industry?
Let me say I'm lucky enough to be favored by a lot of other communities. I have support from all over, and I think that is because I'm the only Kenyan restaurant in Seattle, and even for some time I was the only Kenyan restaurant within the whole of this area. Mm-hmm. I have Somali people who are my biggest customers. Mm-hmm. About 75% are my customers. I have the white people, I have the Arabs, I have the Indians from the Microsoft. I have a lot of support. It wasn't easy to start because before people know that I'm here, it took some time.
Oh, very good, very
yes.
good. But I know you relocated from the East Coast.
Yes, I did. I relocated from DC.
Tell us the secret why many people, for some reasons, I know I come from Delaware and I have friends from Boston. In the last 10 years, we've had so many people moving from East Coast to the North. Why
Yes.
do you think that's the case?
Having had experience of both places, I would tell you in Seattle we make money. And because we have traveled so far from Kenya to come and seek the dollar, you go wherever it is available. And when I left DC back in 1999, I was making $10 an hour. And within the 2 weeks I got here, my mom was here, I moved here because of her. And my first very job that I got, I was making $18 an hour. So you see, that's almost double. And it was plenty. I could change jobs just like that. And the jobs availability here is plenty. It's plenty. And they don't ask a lot of questions like they ask in DC. Here, as long as you prove that you can do the job, especially those days, they didn't ask about papers or anything.
On an ordinary and normal Friday afternoon like today, these two places will be teeming with not just Kenyans, but Ethiopians and other Swahili-speaking East Africans. But as you can see, there's hardly anybody here ordering ugali and nyama or chapati and kuku because these are not ordinary times with this coronavirus roaming the streets. Today I've come to Seattle to speak to some Kenyans who run businesses and just those ones living here to get a sense of how this issue has affected their lives, but more specifically their businesses. So I'm here at Safari Restaurant. This is one of the most popular restaurants, Kenyan restaurants in the US. Anybody who comes to Seattle, they have to pass through here. Ordinarily, this restaurant will be full at this time because it's Friday afternoon, and people always pass through here. But as you can see, it's almost half empty because people now prefer to order their food in than come and sit to eat with the rest of the community. So I'm just speaking to the owner of the restaurant, Jen, to give us a sense of how this thing is going. And Jen, we are here specifically because we want to find out how the recent outbreak of the coronavirus virus has affected the community, especially the Kenyan community in Seattle, because you open up the radio, the TV, people think Seattle is just a no-go zone. How has this affected you?
Today is Friday. People come straight from the mosque to the restaurant, but you can see there's nobody here. But from 3 o'clock, people start taking food home. So much of what they're really doing, because I can tell from my sales at the end of the day, most of what people are doing is taking food home because they have been warned not to be in public places.
So when you take, so you're talking about takeaway?
Takeaway, yes. We are getting a lot of phone calls for takeaway, and we have still few people who are coming and sitting and eating, but a lot of what we are doing is takeaways, that people call in and order not just 1, 2, 3, 4, and they take it home to their families. Yes.
So in essence, what has been affected is people coming to eat from the hotel.
To eat and sit in the restaurant, yes.
Jina langu naitwa Frank Bell. Mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa Seattle, Washington. So nafanya kazi ya biashara ya transportation hapa Seattle.
Frank, originally from Rwanda, now living in Seattle, knows the effects of the coronavirus firsthand because he's at the front line of it all. As a taxi driver, Frank has not only seen his business and livelihood plummet because of the threat of the virus, but he's also been personally facing risks of being exposed.
Inanifekte chikazi kwa sababu gani? Sisi tunapeleka watu kutoka airport kwenda airport, nyumbani kwao, kwa rudisha kazini, vitu kama hivyo. Sasa wakianza kusikia huyo ugonjwa, wanaogopa kuchukua gari ama kuja kazini.
Thank you, Bwana Chris Wamaru. My name is Peter Wahome Wachira, as you have said. Well, I am personally been deeply affected. I live just 8 miles from the ground zero, Kakrad, the place where they first found those virus. So I live in Linwood, and this is in Kakrad. It's just a couple, maybe less than 8 miles. And I'm affected because most of the stores are empty. Number two, I do work, I'm a semi-truck driver. I own a company, I have a truck. And my job is to do with logistics. We do with logistics, what we call dray. We move containers from BM, that is Barrington North Santa Fe Railway, right, to port. For the last whole month, we don't have vessels coming from China. And we normally deal with shipping lines that are basically from Korea and China, Costco, CMAs, and we have nothing. I have not worked for the last 3 weeks. If I did work, it's only 1 day to try to move some few containers from the railway to port, and there's nothing going on because there is no vessel. So I think most of us, almost 1,000 drivers, maybe, and so many other stores are deeply affected. And we don't know even now when normal operation will resume.
Further north, still in Kent County, I was told that this place right here is another very successful business owned by a Kenyan. Again, on a normal day, this place will be bursting with activity on a Friday like today.
Yeah, my name is Lucy Kinyanjui. I come from Gatundu, and I live in Seattle, city of Kent.
One of the reasons why I'm here is, as you know, there's this coronavirus outbreak, and for some reasons, Washington State is becoming the epicenter for this. How has the outbreak affected you as a business person?
Yeah, of course, yeah, it's true. Washington State is actually where it's been affected most. And as per my business right here, Yeah, of course you don't see as many customers as we do, because most of them, almost everybody is staying home. In fact, there's no traffic, on the streets. People are trying to work from home, so of course there's a decline. And also, it's very, very interesting because I was supposed to send a container from from Seattle to Nairobi, and I get almost all my things from Costco. So when I went to look at the order that I had placed, they said, "Oh no, sorry, we can't do that because we don't have the products." So if you walk into Costco, there's no toilet paper, there's no tissue, there's no cleaning detergents, which they are the ones that I mainly take to Kenya. So actually it has affected it a lot, because right now I can't send a container until we get the products, when we don't know, because some of those things also, part of them come from China, but for the American market. And right now, actually, I just heard about it. There's very few containers that are leaving even China to come to the US.
Okay, my name is Catherine Kimani, and we are here in the US, Washington State, and we are located in Kent. And we opened our store in 2018, around August. We had a huge event, and we are here selling clothes from Kenya. We are here selling food stuff from Kenya. Everything is so authentic. The Wazungu, the white people, really love what we do and what we are selling, because we get so many customers from all over the world, every people from different nationalities, and we are here to serve the community.
There's no other way to spin this. The effect of the coronavirus is having on the Kenyan community in the US is far-reaching.
It will affect the Kenyan community in a big way. And that is because most of us work where there are a lot of public people, hospitals, and if at all we cannot be protected, just like everybody else, then you become
susceptible
to the disease. Our better choice is to go back home, because without us getting money, just like anybody else who is in America paying bills, and there are a lot of bills, as you know, and without us getting that daily cash coming in, we're not going to be able to make it, because the landlords and all the bills that we pay, I don't think they will understand that what is happening is affecting people from working or getting money. And even I myself here being one of them. I don't know, right now they are coming and ordering the food out, but as it continues without getting the cure, I am not sure it's going to be the same. And at my age, I don't want to go back to the nursing field. And so I was talking to my children last night, and I was like, I'm glad it have not been affected that much, but if it continues without getting a cure, and the continuous scaring people not to go to the community, to the public places, I guess the only other choice is to go home.
That is the reason why, on a day that Mary Njoroge is supposed to be talking about the upcoming national census, she's forced to talk about coronavirus.
Oh, the coronavirus is really scary right now, because especially here in Washington, it has become like every day there is somebody who is dying or who has been detected with the coronavirus. So it is spreading out so much. So what we are doing and encouraging people to do is to follow the health instructions about washing your hands anytime, and don't shake hands, because as Kenyan community, we are so much with hugging and shaking hands. We are told don't shake, don't hug. Just do the elbow sign to somebody, or you can use your legs to shake, but don't shake people's hand, because you don't know who has the virus and who does not. Sanitize your homes, sanitize your cars. Let your children know the hygiene. Let them wash hands all the time. Before they eat, after they come from the bathrooms, let them wash their hands. And also teach them how to do the elbow sign, not to shake hands with people, and be clean.
Remember, majority of Kenyans work in the health sector and transportation industry, and therefore they're also directly exposed to the virus.
It's going to affect us in a very, very deep way. Most of us have mortgages. I do have mortgages. And we may not be able, if it continue for the next 1 month or 2 months, we may not be able to pay our mortgages. We may be having the same problems that we see every day if you walk aloud. We may have some Kenyans even relocating, even thinking of going back home, other than becoming a homeless, or leaving your mortgage and trying to go to live with somebody else who is also having the same problem. So we are holding our peace, thinking that maybe by mid-April or summer, this thing will go away. But we don't know. Nobody knows.
That's why community leaders like Mary are urging the community not to panic, but rather observe personal care and basic hygiene to minimize exposure to themselves and their loved ones.
Well, Chris, for many Kenyans like me, and we are living right now we are almost in fear, I can tell you, but there is panic. The problem is I don't know why, whether it's hyped or it's the real thing, but there is a great panic out there.
In America, missing 2 paychecks could mean missing paying rent or mortgage. And therefore, the risks of one becoming homeless is very real. And that's the reality that they cannot escape. That's it for us today on our show. We hope you enjoyed the show. Join us again next week as we discuss the upcoming national census that is taking place in the US. The census actually kicks off this week. See you next week.